You've ignored me all these years, and now you come back just for the money." My father threw the words at me like a cold brick. "I'm not here for money." I spread my grandmother's will out in front of the lawyer, my finger resting on a clause. "Then why no? You think we don't know how well you've been living out there?" My father leaned forward, his eyes scanning me as if searching my clothes for proof. "Stop pretending, Peter. The court records are right here." The lawyer slid a stack of documents across the table, tapping on the bankruptcy judgment and the email exchanges. On the screen, my grandmother's voice was calm and decisive. "I set up this trust to protect her from waste." My mother's laugh cracked like glass. "This is a family matter. We can handle it with love." "Love? You've treated my name like a signature line on an open checkbook." My voice wasn't loud, but it lit up the cold air in the room. My father froze. My mother's hands trembled. "Don't forget who raised you," my father said, lowering his tone, trying to pull the conversation back to old debts of duty. "You raised me? You treated me like a blank space on your balance sheet." I stared at them coldly, placing my phone on the lawyer's desk and playing a recording, my mother pleading with my grandmother for a loan, my father promising, "This time we'll make it back." Every crack in the recording cut like a blade. My mother's eyes filled with tears. "Why are you dragging family matters out into the open?" "Because family matters have already hurt too many people, including you." The lawyer closed the file and delivered his opinion. "The trust clause is clear. The beneficiary gains full control only after completing financial education and achieving independence. And any gift to immediate family members exceeding $10,000 is prohibited." As he spoke, my father's hand trembled slightly. The conference room fell silent for 5 seconds. The air seemed sucked out of it. In the pre-recorded video, my grandmother's gaze met the camera directly. They borrowed from me and squandered it more than once. "I don't want my money used for gambling again." Her tone carried no pity. My mother shot to her feet, her mouth full of tangled pleas and humiliation. "Lily, we're your parents. And I'm an adult." I cut her off, laying out the documents I had prepared. 5 years of their bank statements, court summonses, and the loan emails they'd sent my grandmother. "These are your records, not stories I made up." My father's voice began to falter. "We just need some time, we can. What you need is change." I met his eyes. "Here are the trust clauses, the audit terms, and the oversight committee. Anyone who tries to bypass them will leave a trail of legal evidence." As I spoke, I pushed forward a scholarship and investment proposal tables, budgets, and a 3-year return forecast, each figure verifiable. My mother suddenly lunged forward, gripping my wrist so hard her nails dug into my skin. "Do you have to do this? Do you want to destroy this family?" Her voice was full of hate and despair. I didn't pull away. I let her nails leave a red mark. "Boundaries don't destroy, they protect. You've proven again and again that you can't manage this money." The following weeks were about turning words made clear into facts made real. I submitted the evidence of their loan requests to the trust attorney, demanded transparency in the trust's operations, applied to form an oversight committee of community members and independent auditors, and published the scholarship rules and investment plans under third-party custody. Each step wasn't a shout of revenge, but a way to turn power into procedure, to seal every loophole. My parents refused to yield and began applying pressure in other ways. My mother's calls were hooks, each one trying to drag me back into the old web of dependence. My father whispered through the neighborhood, painting me as an unfilial daughter, hoping gossip could move me. But I had already placed the evidence and protocols in the hands of lawyers and trustees. Any slander would only backfire, damaging their own credibility. Their messages grew coarse, their calls relentless. One day in a neutral cafe, my father tried to regain control. "You're still a child. Give us a way out." His hand clenched into a fist, eyes bloodshot. My mother cried beside him, painting herself as a fragile victim of life's cruelty. I laid my grandmother's notebook on the table and opened it slowly. Inside were her hopes for my education and her notes on their financial behavior. I read each page aloud, pointing to their own handwritten promises and signatures. My father's face shifted from anger to panic to pale silence. "You're forcing me to go to court," he snapped. "If you keep trying to evade the law, I'll take the necessary legal steps, I replied evenly. The lawyer nodded, sliding over a draft of the possible proceedings and outcomes. My father's fist loosened, hanging limp like a dead branch. When they later tried to secretly contact the trust administrator, the administrator forwarded the call logs and emails to my lawyer every time, every word, every motive recorded. That night, I compiled the evidence into a report, attaching the trust clauses and the oversight committee's statement, sending it to all involved parties and my grandmother's appointed representatives. Transparency became the sharpest weapon. Every covert move they made was dragged into the light of rules and proof. Their strategy collapsed completely. My mother, choking up before friends, admitted she had begged my grandmother for help. My father began muttering in bars, his eyes evasive. People avoided the subject of their debts. Old acquaintances grew awkward. The most painful blow was being forced to confront and admit their own failures. That admission hurt more than any fine. I didn't cut them out of my life, but I drew the line firmly. Family ties could remain, but financial ties were over. My father stood at the door like a stripped official, his voice barely audible. At least let us save some face. Face was what you used to hide your debts, I said. Law and structure, they're my protection, and for those who come after me. Months later, the scholarship fund began its first disbursement, and the investments grew steadily under a conservative strategy. Students received support, and in the reports, my grandmother's name was honored. At the oversight hearing, community members nodded in approval. My parents' apology emails came in fragments, short and subdued. They had learned, finally, the silence that money demands.